Good evening and welcome to Pakistan Today News from our New York studio. I'm Chris Taylor. We begin with tensions between Washington and London as US President Donald Trump has sharply criticized UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer over energy and immigration policies. In a phone interview with Sky News, Trump said relations had been strained after Britain refused a US request to use its military bases for operations against Iran, calling the decision disappointing. He also criticized the Labour government's ban on new North Sea oil drilling, warning that high energy prices and what he described as weak immigration policies could harm the United Kingdom. Trump added that Britain had not stood with the United States when we needed them. For more on this story, we go to our London correspondent, James Wood.
Thank you, Chris. The remarks from Donald Trump have added fresh strain to what has already been a delicate transatlantic relationship. British officials have so far avoided direct confrontation, but there is growing concern here in London about the potential diplomatic fallout. The decision to block the use of UK military bases reflects a broader hesitation within the British government to become directly involved in escalating tensions with Iran. Meanwhile, debates over energy policy and immigration remain politically sensitive issues domestically, with critics warning of economic and social implications. Chris, back to you.
Thank you, James, for that report. Moving on, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian says Iran is seeking dialogue, not war, warning that any attempt by the United States to impose its will or force Iran to surrender will fail. Speaking to state media, he questioned attacks on civilians and the destruction of schools and hospitals, calling them violations of international law. Meanwhile, Iran's science minister Hossein Saraf says the country is facing an adversary that does not adhere to ethical or legal standards, following US-Israeli strikes that reportedly damaged Tehran's Aerospace Research Institute. He added that all national facilities remain at risk. In a significant development at sea, a sanctioned Iranian supertanker has crossed the Strait of Hormuz toward Imam Khomeini port despite a US naval blockade, according to Iranian media. The vessel, capable of carrying up to 2 million barrels of oil, may signal a challenge to US enforcement efforts, although it remains unclear whether it was carrying cargo. The United States Central Command says more than 10,000 personnel have been deployed to enforce the blockade, restricting traffic linked to Iranian ports. While other Gulf routes remain open, analysts warn that conflicting claims could increase risks to global trade, oil supplies, and regional stability. Meanwhile, tensions continue to rise along Israel's northern border. Hezbollah lawmaker Hassan Fadlallah has accused Israel of attempting to compensate for what he described as a defeat by pushing negotiations with Lebanon through Washington. He urged Lebanese authorities to reconsider their approach, claiming that the withdrawal of the army from southern areas has left the region vulnerable. Fadlallah also alleged that Lebanon's exclusion from recent US-Iran talks in Pakistan was influenced by Israeli demands. At the same time, the Israel Defense Forces have issued a new evacuation order for residents in South Lebanon, urging civilians to move north of the Zerani River as airstrikes continue. This marks the first such directive since recent diplomatic engagements between Lebanese and Israeli representatives in Washington. Reports also indicate that the United States is preparing to deploy thousands of additional troops to the Middle East, intensifying pressure on Iran to reach a deal. Turning to humanitarian efforts, Romania has stepped up support for Lebanon, sending 15 tons of emergency relief supplies including food, tents, and essential goods. The shipment, coordinated under the European Union Civil Protection Mechanism, is being transported by military aircraft. Officials say the move reflects a rapid and organized European response to the growing humanitarian crisis, drawing on state reserves to assist civilians affected by the conflict. And finally, Slovakia is expected to maintain limits on diesel fuel purchases, although the cap may be increased. Prime Minister Robert Fico says the government will also continue allowing fuel stations to charge higher prices for vehicles with foreign number plates. These temporary measures were introduced to protect domestic supplies following a surge in global energy prices linked to the ongoing conflict. Fico has criticized the war and called for diplomatic solutions, while also urging the European Union to ease sanctions on Russian energy to secure alternative fuel sources. That's all for now. You're watching Pakistan Today News. I'm Chris Taylor.